Hello, and welcome back to Samsaraless. In our previous episode, we discussed Dukkha Ariyasakha, or the noble truth of suffering. Today, we are going to dive deeper into the second noble truth, Dukkha Samudaya Ariyasakha, the noble truth of the origin of suffering. The Buddha explained that the cause of suffering is Tanha, or craving. It is the deep-seated desire that leads to rebirth, driven by delight and passionate attachment to various experiences. This craving is divided into three main types: Kama Tanha, Bhava Tanha, and Vibhava Tanha. Let us break these down to understand them clearly. Samudaya is simply the root cause of all our pain, and that root cause is our own craving and desire. Craving is what chains us to the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Its key characteristic is that whenever we desire something, it naturally drags us toward attachment. This desire always comes with a sense of delight and infatuation with the things we want, and this very mechanism is the starting point of every form of suffering we face in life. Kama Tanha. First is Kama Tanha, the craving for sensual pleasures. This is the desire for things that please our senses, including sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and physical touch. We encounter this every single day. When we experience something pleasant from the outside world, we become attached to it. We want it to last forever. This intense attachment blinds us, keeping us trapped in external temptations and quietly multiplying our suffering without us even realizing it. Whether it is a beautiful sight, a pleasant sound, or a delicious taste, when we indulge too much, craving takes over, and in the end, it inevitably brings pain. To put it simply, Kama Tanha is the everyday desires we experience. When we cling to them too tightly, they turn into heavy attachment. Bhava Tanha. The second type is Bhava Tanha, the craving for being, or the desire for existence. The word bhava means becoming or a state of existence. So, Bhava Tanha is the craving to exist, to become, or to maintain a certain identity. This concept is highly subtle and abstract. Many people assume it just means clinging to our ego, but it goes much deeper. The moment a thought arises, a state of existence, a bhava, is established in the mind. Even if someone manages to let go of sensual desires, as long as they still long for other higher states of existence, known as bhava patilabha, their mind remains bound. It is not just about wanting material things. That falls under Kama Tanha. Bhava Tanha is a psychological, abstract craving to be someone or something, yet it is just as powerful in creating suffering. Vibhava Tanha. The third type is Vibhava Tanha, the craving for non-being, or the desire for non-existence. The Buddha spoke very briefly about this, but it is crucial to understand. Vibhava Tanha is the aversion to existence. It is the desire not to be, or the desperate wish to escape from a certain situation, state, or reality. This often confuses people. They ask, if we started with wanting pleasures and then wanting existence, why do we now end up with the desire not to exist? Think of it this way. Whenever consciousness establishes itself, a state of existence is already created, whether it is in the sensual realm, the form realm, or the formless realm. But at this stage, the mind rejects that existence. Why is the desire not to exist a cause of suffering? Because not wanting is rooted in aversion and discontent. We feel miserable because we are not getting what pleases us. Pleasure is always the foundation of displeasure. As long as you still have conditions for what satisfies you, dissatisfaction will always follow. Therefore, vibhava tanha, the craving to escape or destroy existence, shows that the mind is still subtly attached to a preference. It prefers the state of non-existence. Summary and practical application, this can get quite deep. For our everyday lives, it is best to focus on catching kama tanha first, because sensual craving is what we confront every single day, like wanting new clothes, a new lipstick, or a beautiful bag. If we can free ourselves from kama tanha, we have to address it at its root, kama chanda, or the infatuation with those pleasures. When we overcome this infatuation, we can break the fourth fetter, or samyojana, entirely. This elevates our spiritual practice to a much deeper level. To summarize the cause of suffering today, it all comes down to desire. As long as desire rules the mind, suffering will always exist. To make this even clearer, the Buddha connected the cause of suffering to the law of paticca samuppada, the dependent origination, specifically the sequence of arising. This profound framework explains the step-by-step process of how suffering is generated, showing the interconnected factors that lead to pain. The absolute beginning of this chain is avidya, or ignorance. The Buddha defined this ignorance as the lack of deep realization regarding the Four Noble Truths. It means not knowing suffering, not knowing its origin, not knowing its cessation, and not knowing the path leading to its end. Because we do not realize the Four Noble Truths, we have spent countless lifetimes clinging to things, trapped in an endless cycle of rebirth, all because we do not truly see these four sublime realities. Dependent origination is an incredibly detailed and advanced topic. It shows the exact cause and effect behind our sense of self, our existence, and our births. Because of its depth, I will create a separate playlist on paticca samuppada for you in the future. For now, remember this simple chain: craving leads to attachment. Attachment creates existence. Existence leads to birth. And once there is birth, the entire mass of suffering inevitably follows. Whatever is born must ultimately decay and pass away. Why is knowing the cause of suffering so important? Recognizing samudaya matters on so many levels. It brings deeper self-awareness. It helps us monitor our mind and realize exactly how our endless desires are dragging us into misery, allowing us to weaken our attachments. It solves problems at the root. When we know the real cause, we stop wasting time fixing symptoms at the surface. Instead, we target the core by practicing reduction, renunciation, and letting go. It breaks the loop of repeated pain. Without knowing the cause, we stay trapped in a cycle of suffering. When we want something and fail to get it, we just try harder and harder to get it again, creating a never-ending loop of frustration. Knowing the cause breaks this wheel. It forms the foundation of spiritual growth. Understanding the root of pain is essential for mental development. The Buddha taught that once we identify the cause of suffering, we can apply the Noble Eightfold Path to dismantle it. We will discuss this path in detail in our upcoming section on the way to the cessation of suffering. By understanding the origin of suffering, we find a map for life. It helps us manage our challenges, cultivate inner peace, and approach ultimate liberation. Furthermore, samudaya is directly tied to kama. our actions driven by desire and attachment, actions born from endless, insatiable wanting always leave negative imprints, leading to future suffering. In conclusion, every stage of our life is often dominated by desires that seem to have no end. This is samudaya, the origin that invites suffering into our hearts. But please remember, suffering is not an unavoidable trap. It is a profound lesson teaching us the reality of life, that where there is birth, there is suffering. When you recognize the craving that triggers your pain, and you understand that suffering can indeed end, you begin to see the path to true peace. When we learn to let go of the desires that manipulate our satisfaction, we move toward a new destination, the cessation of all suffering. True liberation does not start with gathering or accumulating. It starts with letting go, minimizing attachment, and understanding the true nature of life. Ultimately, absolute peace and true happiness are not far away. They live right inside you. You simply have to discover them. Thank you for joining me on this journey. In our next episode, we will explore the meaning hidden within our minds and look at the path to total freedom. Nirodha Ariyasaka, the noble truth of the cessation of suffering. That is all for today from Samsaraless. See you in the next video. Goodbye.